3 books opened the door and began my journey to create art. The first of these 3 books was The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. This short novel tells the story of a shepherd boy who sets out on an adventure across the deserts of North Africa in search of the Great Pyramid of Egypt. His quest begins because of a reoccurring dream of treasure waiting there for him. On his life-changing journey, the young shepherd faces many challenges and setbacks that test his determination and resolve. He meets various guides and teachers by chance. They encourage him to discover his true self and to pursue his personal legend. He learns to listen to the soul of the earth, and he is taught how to see and recognize the signs and omens that the world shows to those who are willing to pay attention. I don't quite remember how I came across this book all those years ago, but it became a favorite novel of mine. I've really enjoyed revisiting this simple but very deep book many times over the years. Each time I find new insights and wisdom within this simple story. The second of these 3 books came into my life around 5 years after I first read The Alchemist. Shopping for Christmas gifts one year in the old book warehouse in Waterloo. While I was on my way out, a strange book cover caught my eye and drew my attention. On the cover of this sealed book was a large seashell and an image that I had seen before of a male figure standing in a star and circle. The title of the book was The Secret Code by Priya Hemenway. Strangely intrigued and drawn to this book, I decided to purchase it as a gift to myself. But it wasn't until I got home and opened this sealed book that I was thrown into a world of ancient history, math and mystery. This eye-opening book introduced me to divine proportion, a concept that blends both art and math, and has captivated scholars, artists and scientists throughout history. This unusual pattern of divine proportion is also known as Phi, the 21st letter of the Greek alphabet, which represents the golden ratio, a reoccurring pattern that is found throughout nature, like the spirals that show up on fruit and flower petals, or even the curved spirals of seashells, and many more. Divine proportion is well known for creating visual harmony, and has been studied and embedded in many art forms, including the Renaissance paintings of the Italian masters. This pattern of divine proportion is also found in ancient structures like the Parthenon in Athens or the Great Pyramids of Egypt. From a mathematical view, the divine proportion is also shown as the Fibonacci numbers, a sequence where each number is the sum of the 2 before it. This book reintroduced me to the subject of geometry, as well as ancient scholars such as Plato, Pythagoras, Euclid, Fibonacci, Luca Pacioli, Kepler, and Charles Bonnet, among many others who also studied divine proportion. It also showed me how many cultures and civilizations have greatly contributed and shaped modern mathematics, such as the ancient Sumerians, the Egyptians and the Greeks, the Chinese and Indian mathematicians, as well as the great minds of the Islamic world during their golden age of scientific advancement. The book also shows that divine proportion not only appears in architecture and in art, but even in the structure of music and the study of science, even in mysticism. Studying this divine proportion reveals a deep relationship between balance, harmony and symmetry, which seems to underlie the very fabric of existence. Now, if school had approached and taught mathematics from this holistic angle, I would have been way more engaged and motivated to learn maths when I was in school. But I'm grateful for this book. It opened my eyes to so much and helped me to see that our world is built upon intricate structures and hidden geometry. The third book that influenced my path in creating art came into my life around 5 years after I read The Secret Code. This was during a time of major changes in my life, including becoming a father, as well as the move away from the busy city life and out to the quiet, slow countryside. A few weeks before the big move, an old school friend of mine introduced me to a small, strange and mysterious book entitled The Kybalion by the 3 Initiates. His compact, yet very dense book first introduced me to the Hermetic philosophy and wisdom passed down from ancient Egypt and Greece, based on the 7 core principles: mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender. They reveal universal laws that govern both reality and consciousness. Not the easiest book to understand and grasp on the first or even the third reading, yet it offered a fascinating glimpse of how reality functions at its most fundamental level. Nothing in life happens just by chance or coincidence. As I look back on my life and reflect on the bigger picture, I can see how these books entered my life at the right time, exactly when I needed their wisdom. Long before I knew I wanted to create art, long before I had any idea of developing a visual language, these 3 books taught me how to trust in the journey, how to see and recognize patterns, and how to appreciate fundamental principles beneath everything we experience.